Sunil Yadav. I'm going to explain how we can get started with MongoDB. So in previous session I have explained how we can install MongoDB, what is MongoDB, and in this session I'm going to cover some basic operations through the shell, MongoDB shell actually. So I'm going to type Mongo here. So this shell, MongoDB shell, is trying to connect my local MongoDB database. Like this is the MongoDB service, and this trying to connect this host, and this is my port number of the MongoDB. Yeah, so this is connected. So let's try to say how many database we have. I'm going to show DBs. So we can say this admin config local. So these are the default database is creating MongoDB server once you install the MongoDB. Okay, so let's create. I'm going to just say Control L. I'm going to clean it. So let's say show DBs again. So we can say let's create one database. In the last session I explained I created one database arts, so I'm going to create this one use. So if you want to create one new database, we can say generally say use the database name what you want to give, so arts. So let's see the database created or not. So if I say show DBs, so you still see right database is not created, but we can say like we're saying source to DB is ours. So what is this meaning? So I'm saying DB. Okay, so DB means this is my current database, I'm referring it, but if I try to see this database is not existed. So what is issue with it? So MongoDB is saying, hey, you have created a database, but you have not created any collection with that database, so you have to create it first. I will show you database for you. So let's create it. I'm saying DB. I'm going to create one employee collection. Okay, so I'm going to see this name is employee under my arts organization, and if I click tab, so tab so many method I'm going to say. I'm say insert. So if I tab it, so click on the tab, so we can say three method is available. We're saying insert, insert many, insert one. So let's create insert one record, this method. In future I will explain all the methods, but in this session let's say try to basic things. So I'm going to say insert one, and this is my curly braces. So this is basically JSON I'm going to put here. So I'm say name. Okay, name Sunil Yadav. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is this is my curly braces start and end. So I'm going to say name, this is my field key, we can say field key and key value. Okay, so name is the field we are representing here, and field value is Sunil Yadav. So here I'm creating the documents for employee collection. Okay, and we can say name comma address. I'm going to say address here is city. I'm going to say Dublin. Okay, and I'm going to say skills. No, let's move out from this object. I'm going to say skills. We can say Java comma Kotlin. Okay, so one difference you can see here, right? Sometimes I put double quotes with the field name, right? And the here I'm not put it. So field name is not required to you to put double quotes. Sometimes you can put or not put, doesn't matter, but the value always we have to put something. So suppose I want to put something age here, age like suppose say 35. Okay, so here is something is represent number, so we don't need to put into a string. So hope that's clear. So let's enter it and let's see is document going created or not. Yeah, so it's saying is document created means acknowledge is true, so that is no issue at all. This document created, and this inserted ID we can see here is created one more ID here. Like with ID, what is, I have not given this ID, but MongoDB is automatically generating this ID as a primary key. Okay, and let's see is document really created. So first let's check is show DBs. Yeah, so now in database we can see odds is like database is created. Now it's showing because this collection is already created. Okay, so let's see what inside the employee collection. So I'm going to say emp tab it automatically commit, and let's say find. So if you tab it, so we are getting this method like find one and replace. So I'm going to use just find. So we can see we can see one data whatever we inserted earlier, and this is showing to us, but this not look good, representation of JSON. So we can say we can use method pretty PRTY, okay, and run it. So now it's showing me more, correct way, like a more representative pretty JSON format for us. So we can see underscore ID. So this name is underscore ID field name, and this is object ID, one of the class, and this is the data. So this data format, I will explain how this is generated and what is the content, how we representing the data. I will explain later. So this is working, and we can say if we want to insert one more record, so we can insert it like we can change some value. Let's try Ravi and age 30, city Glasgow, okay, and Java Kotlin. So okay, so this is also inserted. Let's try to find out. So now it's showing here is both value here is okay, and we can see, so this way we can generally use this terminal like cells to insert data into MongoDB. Now question is, suppose if we are going to develop some application, right, front end or back end in Node.js or in Java, and we wanted to do the same operation through the applications to insert data into our database MongoDB. So how we going to do that? So for that we need drivers. So driver is basically, if we go to this documentation, so let me go to here, and if you go to documentation, so I'm going to say mongodb.com, okay. So if we can say go like under document section, we can say cloud server drivers, right? So we can see the drivers. So these are the drivers MongoDB provide to us, the language we want to use to communicate. So what is driver? Basically driver is connect your application to your database with one other official libraries. So these are the libraries they are provided. They are, so drivers is talking to your application, and they are trying to communicate to MongoDB server, and MongoDB server is talking to storage engine. So storage engine is basically like storing your data in the like wire tiger storage format, and in memory might be, sometimes we don't need to data put into the file to write into disk, but sometimes we keep some data in memory. So these are the storage engine helps to store data in MongoDB. So how exploits work? We talk to our driver through the applications, whatever we have going through it. Suppose I want to use Node.js, right, for my application, and if you just click quick start, so all the details is mentioned here, right? How do you get the driver? So we need to install MongoDB driver here, and then use the connection string, right? Connection string, basically this is the connection string. We need to put the format, what is user ID, password, what is database name, what is your host URL. So we need to put into it, and then we need to create the client, basically MongoDB client, and then try to connect to database. So this is my database name. I'm going to create the collection movies, right? So those things, whatever the way you're going to do the cell similar operation, you are going to perform through the your particular application, either Python, Java. Those operations are simple, but you are going to write in some native language, right? So basically drivers are help to communicate to MongoDB server, and MongoDB talk to our storage engine and to store the data either in file system through the using wire tiger storage engine, okay, and either in memory. So I'm not going in more details. So for this session I was trying to explain you these details. So hope you understand it and hope you like it. So please subscribe my channel and share your feedback. Thank you for your time.